of Commissioners. My name is Jasper Hendricks, Chair of the Fair Board, and I will begin by reading our legal notice. As information for our audience, if you are not satisfied with the decision made by the Metropolitan Board of Fair Commissioners today, you may appeal the decision by petitioning for a writ of cert with the Davidson County Chancery or Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of the entry of the board's decision. To ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements have been met, please be advised that you should contact your own independent legal counsel. I'll begin the meeting today by entertaining a motion to approve the minutes from our previous meeting.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, hear none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next order of business will be monthly informational reports, and we will begin with our campus partner updates. And we have Ryan Harbor here from Nashville Soccer.
Good morning to the board and everyone present. My name is Ryan Harbor, Chief of Staff for Nashville Soccer Club. So the day after our last meeting in Austin, Texas, we played for the U.S. Open Cup Championship. As many of you know, we were victorious and brought home the first championship trophy for the organization. So thank you. I hope this group is just as proud as we are of that accomplishment. Everyone here has contributed to that success. So just want to thank the board and all of you here. Hopefully we have many more opportunities to celebrate. This past weekend, we unveiled permanent signage inside of Geodis Park for that championship, so we hope when you have the chance, come by and see it in person. Otherwise, in October, we finished MLS regular season play. We're now in the playoffs. Round one is the best of three, so far we've split the first two matches with Miami. Most recently this past Saturday in Geodis Park with a victory, 2-1 over Miami. So this upcoming Saturday will be winner take all in Miami. Tune in if you have the chance. There's a chance. Oh. Wow. It's possible that Geodis Park will host additional playoff matches. It'll depend on how other matchups shake out, and then obviously most importantly, the boys in gold taking care of business this weekend. Otherwise, at Geodis Park in October, we hosted two back-to-back concert nights for country star Tyler Childers, October 10th and 11th. That was the first time we've had back-to-back concert nights. Our staff did an amazing job. The promoter, the production crew, the artists were all thoroughly impressed with the experience. So hopefully many more concerts to come as well. So that's the update for NSC. Happy to try to answer any questions you have.
Questions, yes.
Thanks for the update. Number one, how much do you guys plan to beat Miami by in the next game?
At least one.
All right, that's good. Just keep your expectations high. Any learnings from the concert nights? Anything that you guys took away that one for you guys, but mostly for how the campus operates? Any learnings you want to share or things we can help you with?
The biggest that I've heard is in regards to the stage. With the natural grass at the stadium, we want to always try to maintain that, especially in season with concerts. And so our facility staff working with the promoter to really be most efficient with the load in, load out of the stage and how it's set up. We had a soccer match, was it 6 days after, Mike? And the grass was immaculate because of some of those changes we did during that load in process. So I think that was the biggest learning for us coming away from that.
Were you guys extending the load in out or compressing it down?
We were
some other change?
minimizing some of the loads from what I understand. Layman's, I'm not an engineer, but that's kind of what I gathered from the group was minimizing the load, some of the routes for where they were bringing some of the heavy machinery in, kind of to displace that load and not beat down the playing surface so much.
Is there a discussion to have a football game there in December?
I know there are discussions ongoing. I don't think that's been confirmed or denied yet.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? All right, here now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we will have Bob for the track.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sorry about that. I've said on the counter there, the schedule for this weekend is our All-American 400, kind of the granddaddy of the facility, several years of history there, and it's a 3-day event for us so we can kind of showcase every one of our divisions, which is the quarter mile on Friday, and then our pro and street stock and what have you on Saturday, which culminates with the final on Sunday at 1 o'clock with the Stars late models. So I put the schedule there for you all. Invite everybody out. Other than that, we're working on the 26 schedule now. We've had a couple exciting announcements. One, the ARCA will be back, and then Dale Jr.'s Cars Tour will come April 11th. So that should be another big event like we had a couple of years ago with SRX. So things are shaping up really good for 26. And that's about it now. Like I said, this weekend's really important for us. We'll go with Laura and her staff on parking and what the weather does.
Questions?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will go with our capital project updates, and Don and John.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
John Chaney, Collier Engineering. A pleasure to be back with you again this month. I'll continue the same format, talking about the 3 projects, kind of in order. Windgrove, Metro Water Services final approval for stormwater and grading plans remains pending. All the other agency reviews, NDOT and TDOT, are current. Legal review of contractor's certificate of insurance is expected soon. On the utility coordination, there's a lot of existing utilities that need to be coordinated and relocated, namely Piedmont Gas. They're expected to start within the next week to 10 days. Their schedule is a 6-week bracket. There'll be some road closures on Windgrove, so they'll be restricted to 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. They're going to retire about 350 linear feet of existing gas lines, so they have increased the scope of their work, so it's kind of pushed their schedule out a little bit. That means that Bell Construction will potentially start mid-December on their scope of work for the work there. Lower Coliseum Way, review comments from NDOT and Metro Water are under review. General Services ADA comments are minor and are in the process of being addressed prior to construction. There was about 7,000 cubic yards of spoil material, dirt and rock, from the Lot 2 construction that was placed up on the R.C. Matthews lot. Our senior in-house geotechnical engineer is going to be doing some testing here in the next week or so on that material to see if it could be reused as fill material on the Lower Coliseum project. So I would expect that was probably to take 2 to 3 weeks for his testing and lab results. Following Bell will update the pricing once we get all the approvals and everything. Bell will update the pricing and likely begin in early Q1 2026. The multipurpose lot, if y'all noticed, lot going on over there since the fair. All the storm drainage for that lot, for that project, is complete. They're working on the bioretention ponds. That's the big digging along Benton here. They've got the concrete abutments that they'll be setting in place for the Permatrack boardwalk here in the immediate future. With the start of the Christmas Village coming up on November 12th, Bell is targeting, of course, weather dependent, to have the binder course down so that lot is usable for that Christmas Village event coming up later this month. There were some utility conflicts with irrigation and other underground utilities that were discovered during the construction. So, but everything is anticipated to have everything available and for use for the Christmas Village event that's coming up. And then we're going to be monitoring the contractor's construction and anticipated start dates for both Windgrove and Lower Coliseum Way. So that's kind of a quick thumbnail on each of the three projects. So.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes.
Well, number one, for Laura, why is Christmas Village starting 11/12? That is not Christmas season. That is clearly Thanksgiving season. So I'm going to raise an objection on that.
You must have just heard I was like, what?
Did you say the same thing? Yeah. I wrote it down over here. Anyway.
Shopping in advance.
So I have two questions for you. Thank you for this update. It's very helpful. And these are just exactly what I think we need to ground ourselves. One, do you know how many spaces are going to be in lot 2? And then the second question is, I know we went through the detail, but when are we looking at an opening of the entrance over there on Windgrove?
Opening of the entrance from Windgrove?
Yeah.
That's about a 10-month construction schedule.
So we're talking about like maybe a year from now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the number of spaces over here, do we know that?
I'm not sure, Don.
Just ballpark. I'm not going to hold you to it. I'm just curious.
So that lot is titled a multi-purpose lot, not a parking lot, due to some parking regs that we had to go through. So we never did do a striping plan, and it was never intended to be used as a strictly parking only. So
We're keeping it loose to kind of
keeping it loose,
okay.
exactly.
Right.
But if you were to have a traditional parking lot layout, it would probably be between 100 and 125 spaces or so.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next we'll hear from Mr. Henley. Thank you.
Morning, all. I'm going to be giving my update as I typically do. Hopefully you all have in your packets or in front of you documents as you would typically see. We'll get us started pretty quickly. No updates since we reported at the end of September for the first page, the fairground improvements. But on Fair Park, as you've been seeing for the past few months, remaining consistent with the ongoing maintenance that's there. Outside of that, very little activity, but being as a great follow-up to the report you just got from John and Don, a lot of activity on the infrastructure, part 2. Since we last reported in September, about $650,000 of invoicing has been processed related to the work. 98% of that is related to Lot 2, and you heard the update there. I would like to note that going forward, the amount of invoices will start to ramp back up again, kind of reminiscent of times before when we had a lot of construction activity on the site. We've got all of the other projects starting to kick off, as we mentioned, varying starts there, but a lot of communication with Bill, getting a lot of those invoices formatted in a way that allows us to review and move them quickly. But as I said, about $650,000 since the last report. Again, the numbers are always in arrears. There's probably another about that same amount that's being reviewed right now, likely to be processed in the next handful of days. So when we come back before you for your next board meeting. Again, as I've said before, you'll start to see that construction line item start to tick a lot quicker than it has in the past. But outside of that, in good shape as far as budget, obviously having great opportunities to work with staff. Any and all things that we run into, we're tackling. But I think just to note, the volume of invoicing will likely start to ramp up. And then obviously what you all see here on the dashboards, we'll start to see kind of a faster clip, particularly in the construction spend. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. So next we will have, I think that's it for our capital partners, right? Next we'll have our division updates, and we will begin with finance.
Hello, everyone. The Metro Charter mandates that certain activities be conducted on the property of the fairgrounds, which include the divisional fair, expo center events, flea markets, and auto racing. I will present financial information disclosing the revenues and expenses associated with fulfilling said mandates. The financial information reported today is preliminary, as all of the revenues and expenses for October 2025 may not have been recorded to the ledgers as of November 3rd, 2025, when this report was created. As of October 2025, we have earned around $1.5 million. We have spent around $1.8 million, which results in a difference of approximately $270,743. Depreciation expense is $349,287. So the total adjusted variance for depreciation is roughly $620,000. Our annualized budget is our projection of revenue and expenses that we presented to finance. Revenue, we expect to collect $4.6 million, and we expect to spend about $5 million. There's a variance of $355,100. Moving to the revenue section by division. For flea market, year-to-date budget for revenue is $237,967, which we have earned $177,500, which is under budget by $60,500. The contributing factor is due to about $52,000 that has not posted to the ledgers. For events, our year-to-date budget for revenue is $692,400. We have earned roughly $583,400. There's about $109,000 under budget there due to the fact that we talked last board meeting about 32% of our revenue collection is this quarter. So as Christmas Village and some others come online, we'll start to see that revenue gap close, which we saw that from last board meeting was about $200,000. So now it's slowly declining. So that should even out. For the divisional fair, our year-to-date budget is $201,167. We have earned $751,700, so we're over budget by $550,000. With the divisional fair, we collect all of our revenue around September, so there's a huge spike, and then it starts to trickle off. The same with expenses, and we have Scott here, so he'll go over more of the details of the revenue and attendance and all that stuff. For contracts, our year-to-date budget is $98,300, of which we have earned $22,756. We have not received our ground lease rent payment. We are due to receive that January 1st. We have collected $16,853 in other, which is pretty much interest, unrealized gains, and loss. For our other financing sources that has not yet posted, we are due about $329,900. I have contacted finance inquiring about when that we should expect that to post. So all in all, for revenue, Despite us not having our investment posted yet, we're doing pretty well there. We've done really good with events and also with fairs, so we're tracking very well. For expenses by division for flea market, our year-to-date budget is $123,900. We spent about $88,966, so we're under budget about $35,000. For events, our year-to-date budget is $168,700. We've spent about $171,500, so we're under budget by about $3,000. I mean, we're over budget, I'm sorry, about $3,000. Divisional fairs budget, year-to-date budget is $433,733, of which we spent about $879,000, which we're over budget about $445,000, again, due to a lot of the expenses coming in around September, October. We'll start to see the expenses slow down there, but we budgeted for the fair to show a variance. That's just the nature of the fair. For contracts, year-to-date budget is $35,000 roughly, and we've spent about $17,000, so we're under budget about $18,000. For admin, our overhead cost for year-to-date budget is $917,000, of which we spent about $666,600. So we're under budget about $250,000 there. And for our gain and loss section, overall, we have a variance of $270,800. And the two contributing factors is fair and admin. So for the fair, there's a variance of $127,300, and for admin, there is a variance of $666,600. Everything else is pretty much on target. For our property tax proration, we have $346,800, and for our agent report, we have approximately $88,700 in outstanding invoices. All of the promoters have been contacted and invoiced.
Thank you. So I have a couple of questions. One is about the agent report. So the $88,000 that's still outstanding, would that help close the $108,000 gap there that's for under corporate sales?
That will contribute to that. I would like to mention that the events that are listed for October, we have not posted them in our earned yet, so that's not included in the 108. But once we submit all of our journal entries, that will be included. Even though we have not physically received the money, we have earned the money, so that will contribute to bringing that number down.
Okay, cool, thank you. And then the other question will be that I have, and I'm trying to go through my brain right now to see if you've addressed it before, and I know it's come up before. But how is parking calculated? Like, if we charge for parking for we charge for parking for the flea market and for the fair and everything, is that revenue included in those individual items, those
Yes.
individual events?
Yes.
And is it broken out? Do you break it out within that category, like for your own
I can, yes.
records? Okay, all right. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
So one, thank you for the detail that you sent via email about the fair budget. I was going to ask if we could get a similar type of detail, and we don't have to discuss it today, I just want to look at it for next month, on the administration expenses. That's all.
Any other questions? And also, I would like to say thanks for sending it to us in advance, so we have the chance to take a look at it and dissect it and digest it, because it's a lot. So thank you for helping us understand what you do and break it down for us prior to the meetings. So thanks for that. All right.
Can I add one more thing? I'm sorry,
yes,
Jasper,
yes.
one more thing. what's really helpful now is like, I mean, number one, this is a good report. I think it's trending in the right direction. And what is really helpful to me, and I hate to call him out, but I'd love Diego's opinion on this, is like, I feel like we've kind of identified what our weaknesses is in our financial model. And now we just have, it's like knowing is the first part and now like addressing them, which is funny to say like 2 years and I'm on the board of just figuring that out. But like, it's helpful. I mean, to know what you're sort of up against and tackle it. So it's very organized in a good way. But Diego, I mean, when you're looking at it, I know you spend a lot of time on the financials. Is there anything I'm missing when I look at, okay, we need to grow the revenue on the fair. We know that. We know we need to figure out how to sort of spread the cost of administration across the events and carry that weight, or look to the central, downtown for help with that. Those are what I view as the problems, but I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything from your point of view.
No, I would agree with your assessment of it. I think we know. It's not that we didn't know. I just think that it shows better now. So it's going to be much easier to have discussions that are more specific to the opportunities that we have, and eventually we'll be able to make decisions pointing to the very specific facts, right, and what we're looking at. So yeah, I agree with your assessment. Now, this is the easy part. Then figuring out how to fill some of those gaps, that will be probably a bigger challenge, but it is great. And thank you for all the work you've done here. I think we finally see what we see, right? We got into the weeds and we can see the detail. So yeah, not much more to offer there.
Thank you. Next, we will have personnel update, personnel committee.
We have no update. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Event services, Ryan Scott.
Morning, everybody. Just a quick events update. We are coming out of a busy couple weeks with events, capping off the next 2 weeks with a busy schedule. We have 6 events in-house this week, as well as one of our largest races of the season, followed by Christmas Village next week. And then we kind of catch a break to do some of these maintenance projects around the building and catch up a little bit. On the flea market side, we had a really good October flea market. We had 2 other events in-house to support that. Saw a lot of good crossover with that, with the Reptile Show and the Panda Fest Food Festival. Saw a lot of guests going back and forth between events. Had about 300 vendors for the flea market as well. Got really good feedback on that side. We did get some good constructive criticism and feedback from the community about Panda Fest and some of the traffic we experienced with that. So we are looking to address that next time they come back to campus. As far as the revenue side, flea market is pacing about even with what we're expected budget-wise. Events, as Teresa alluded to, we are bringing in about what we expect to bring in at this point, in that we're kind of heavily weighted on the back end of the season. So we'll start to see an increase right around Christmas Village, start to close that gap a little bit going into the new year. So, any questions?
Yes, one quick question. So you mentioned the parking, traffic,
Yes.
But you said it was because of the Panda Festival. Now, was it because it could have potentially been because you had multiple events going on at the same time? And so maybe we need to take a look at a traffic pattern when we have multiple events.
Correct.
And not wait for the next Panda Festival?
And we were proactive about this. I will give credit to our staff. We had lots of planning meetings going through this. I think since this was a new event for us, we didn't fully understand the scope of what kind of event was coming. We knew it would be high traffic. Really, the only problem we faced was Saturday morning, which is peak time for them, peak time for flea market, and then that was when our reptile show kicked off. So really kind of just all things coming to a head at once. But again, knowing that now and knowing what crowds to expect, getting some of this feedback from the community, we'll have a much better plan going forward.
And has the parking been helpful in the with the addition of the parking garage, or you still see like limited parking because they are full, with capacity with residents?
We typically don't send people there unless it's kind of a last resort. We did have a few people make it up there. Since we don't retain any revenue on that, we're not really incentivized to send people up there, but just to support operations, if that is available, we have seen people utilize that.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Jasper, I think you hit the nail on the head, which is sort of like more money, more problems. Like you get 3 events at the same time. That's great. Revenue's up. What is the overall? But I still support. This is so smart. You've got 3 buildings, 3 events. I think overall it's going to win, but I think Jasper lays a good point, which is let's make sure we just plan for the fact that we're going to be successful with 3 events and plan for that. It's great. Absolutely.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you. And Scott.
Well, good morning. Just want to say, this year at the fair, I consider it very successful. We caught really great weather this year, just 2 half-a-days of rain. It really showed, of course, in our revenue. If you look back from last year, revenue streams are up, of course, this year, and luckily it looks like hopefully our expenses will be down overall when the whole year's done. We'll be under budget on that. So that's a big plus for us. And hopefully as the years go by, we'll continue to lessen that gap. We'll be able to close the gap between the revenue and expenses based on weather, of course. But as we grow the fair, I do want to point this out. We ultimately grabbed 3,500 new emails, so our total email database for the fair is a little over 11,000. Our Facebook followers increased over 20%. We were at 4,800 last year. We're at 5,700 now. Instagram, of course, 2,500. Now we're at 35. That was an increase, almost 40%, 39%. TikTok followers, of course, went up from 3,100 to 37, which was a 22% increase in that. So as we continue to grow, we have good experiences in the fair. We have returning customers. I think, as we go down the years, it would just continue to grow and have good experience if we can just manage our budget.
Well, we can figure out how to get you some more revenue.
With that too.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we just have to gross our way out of it.
Right. Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah. No. Thank you. There's been a lot. I've heard a lot of great things about the fair. So, thank you for all the work and your team's work. Yeah. So, any questions? Yes.
One question I was just going to ask, Laura, and this may be like something that's not workable within the Metro system, but have you ever looked at cancellation insurance or contingency insurance? So basically, you can insure against weather loss.
Yes, ultimately, we years past looked at that, and when I looked at that about 10 years ago, it can rain here, but I think it's measured, say, at the airport, and there's, it's just like anything else, how much we just didn't feel the value in that because it has to rain a certain amount. If it was a one-day event, I would definitely look at rain insurance, more like a Bonnaroo or something like that.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Next, we have an operations report from Ronnie.
Good morning, board members and colleagues. Presently, right now, we're trying to go through and winterize our system for the winter irrigation. We have a couple of leaks that we have that we're going to postpone until the spring. Expo 2, we did do some maintenance on the roof and got all of those roof leaks fixed. I got a meeting this afternoon with Ready Rock. We're going to try to look at trying to figure out a way to capture some of the cardboard to try to see if we can get some financing off of some of that stuff. That way I don't have to always get on Cetrice's nerves about trying to find extra money that she's got in her drawer in her office. But outside of that, maintenance-wise, we're getting ready for Christmas Village. We did a pilot on the bathrooms in the Expo 3. If you get a chance to go by and look at those, we just have to come up with a better way of being able to keep the bathroom floors looking good. The estimates on those to refinish are around the $20,000 to $27,000 a restroom if we want to redo those. So I think it's going to be in our best interest to try to find a better way of cleaning those and keeping them clean. So I will be picking you guys' brains on finding extra financing to try to get that done, so I won't get on Cetrice's nerves. But outside of that, that's what we have going on as far as maintenance. Anybody have any questions?
No questions? Oh, thank you very much.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
And next we have our executive director's report.
Just really quick, wanted just to talk about our website a little bit. And Chair, if you recall, a couple of years ago, we had a pretty in-depth conversation here at the board about our website. So we've done a few things. Wanted to update you on couple of them were mandated. One is that we switched our, the fairgrounds.com needed to transfer to a .gov based on what activities and transactions are happening on our website. So our new website address is thefairgroundsnashville.gov. It will automatically, if you go into the old address, fairgrounds.com, it will automatically redirect to the .gov, but that was a requirement based on the usage of our website. The fair website is exempt from this requirement because of the heavy retail and transactional items that are on that website. So that was determined that that did not need to switch from nashfair.fun to a .gov. Additionally, another project that all departments have been tasked with reviewing is your website accessibility. So essentially making sure that if you do have forms or images or text or maps on your website, that it is easily read through a screen reader. And then we provide like text descriptions of photos to make sure that our website is accessible, and we've completed that project. It's due in the end of April 2026, but we've completed that already. So I want to thank ITS for their help and guidance on that project. And then as kind of a part of all of the review, ITS has also recommended that we update our website. So I asked for an initial estimate. It has been estimated that it's going to cost between $80,000 and $130,000. So I did put that into our capital request for assistance through 4% for that. So I do hope that we do get that funding to update our site, and I'll let you know how that goes as the next CSP comes out.
So I think maybe you should go first. All right. So this website, this estimate, who was this for Metro to do it?
So Metro has contractors. My understanding through ITS is that there are website contractors that are have been procured through ITS.
Yeah. Before we decide on who does this website, is there any way that they could send us some like sample markups of their idea of what the new website should look like before we commit to? Because I don't want to pay $100,000 and the website looks the same.
Understood. And I don't have too much information at this time about how the process works, because we're just kind of early in the, like, we just got this information in and around the fair that they had recommended that this be done. So I don't have that answer, but I can definitely put that out there once we get a little bit further down and we know whether or not the project is funded.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because if they need some help, I've looked at other fair websites and other places, and and looked at the functionality of their websites, and so I would have some recommendations. I just don't want. I'm just knowing metric. Like, I don't want to pay $100,000 and it's going to take 5 years and it's going to end up looking the same thing. So, yes.
Just to add, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I'm guessing some of that, since it's coming from IT, is probably more of like the security structure, back end, accessibility, those kinds of things. What I think we really need to look at, and I think what Jasper's hitting on, is more of it's like, the problem is we're operating as an enterprise fund. We need to have the private sector come here and be incentivized to use our facilities. So we need a better front end, digital front end from a marketing perspective. So I would guess that is probably not encompassed in what that type of website refresh is. It's probably more of the structural part of the website. But I think separately, or in addition, we need to think about, how do we make this campus work collectively and have a front end for the campus to, again, achieve a collective goal, which is, again, I think what Jasper has been talking about for years, and I completely concur with. So we need to think about what's the scope of that type of project. Is that more like back end structural, And then we need to separately look at the marketing copy, those kinds of things.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, to agreeing with part of that, I think because it's not a minuscule amount of money, I think that we also need to, when we're talking CSP, we need to prioritize what we need more urgently than not, and $130,000 in just capital improvements, we could probably accomplish things that either help us protecting the revenue that we already have, or will help us with more revenue, right? So I agree with you guys that we need to think of what changes can we make on the front end that will help us make more money. And I mean, sure, wherever we have to make it more secure, where we're not exposed, but also I think that's a conversation we need to push back a little bit also with ITS and whoever to say if there's an improvement that is metro wide, this could also be something that they can absorb more as a global investment and not push it on us individually for a capital investment, right? So but we don't depend on our website to do business as much as we do in our buildings. So capital dollars, in my opinion, are probably better suited to go here. But also knowing how things work internally, well, I think let's just, $100,000 is a lot of money. Let's pay attention to that and do the best we can.
Yes. Yep. Thank you. Any other comment? All right. Thank you. Thanks. Was that it for your report? All right. So we'll move on to old business, and it's a discussion regarding the criteria for sponsorship, naming rights for policy development. And it is a request for deferral of discussion because Metro Legal has not provided us with updated language. And so I guess we'll have an update as to the timeline that Metro Legal thinks that this will be available for us to review.
Sure, I'm sorry. It's in the queue. We're getting around to it. We've just been really overwhelmed recently. Apologies.
Okay, and what this is, for those of you, I don't know, well, most of you have been here to every meeting. So, you know, what we're trying to do is that Metro League, we have to change Metro code in order for us to go after larger sponsorship dollars to help offset some of our expenses. And so just like we did with receiving grants, we had to get Metro Council to approve us to be able to secure grants of more than $5,000 without having to go to them each time we get some more than $5,000. So the same thing with naming rights of our buildings, of our structures, so that we can be like Wilson County, for example, and have, as they have the Farm Bureau Expo, we can begin to be able to look at ideas like that so that we can generate revenue for the fair and for some of our other projects that happen here that we are mandated to provide without being an extra burden to the citizens of Nashville. So thank you, and I'm hoping that we will have something maybe by the end of the year or the first part of the year to start off with, to vote on, for us to take a look at and vote on. So any further discussion? I hear none. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Oh, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much for attending today's board meeting. Have a great day.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.